Hey, what's up you guys, it's Becca. So if you want to know how to get this look, keep watching. I was somewhat inspired by Kylie Jenner's burgundy palette and her bronze palette, so I kind of collaborated both in here, but with my own palettes, and it's just a very pretty fall look. So if you're interested, keep watching. Okay, so I just started off by washing my face with the Neutrogena oil-free acne wash, and now I'm going to take some of this Pond's. It says it's an anti-wrinkle cream, but I just use it as a moisturizer because it works really well on my face. So, just moving in. Okay, so now starting with the eyebrows, I'm taking my Anastasia Beverly Hills Brow Definer, and I love this stuff so much. So I'm just starting off by combing them through. And I'm just using this. I just plucked my eyebrows yesterday, so hopefully this looks really good and better than normal. So I'm just taking small, light-handed strokes, and I'm just kind of in the front lightening it up by combing it through, and then combing through the entire thing again. I always start with the brows first because brows frame your face. And so you want the tail of your brow, which is over here, to be darker than the front. So now I'm taking my Revlon Brow Fantasy and the shade Brunette. There is a pencil on here. I don't really like to use the pencil on here, it just doesn't work very well and it doesn't sharpen nicely, but there is another side with a gel, and I do like to use this. I'm just combing this through the brows, and this is tinted, but it doesn't give off too much tint, and this just helps them stay in place so that your hairs aren't moving around, and they also are a little bit darker. So I sometimes use primer, I sometimes don't, but if I do, I use the Maybelline Baby Skin Instant Pore Eraser Primer, and I mean, it's not expensive and it works pretty well, but I also feel like it takes off my makeup sometimes instead of keeping it, so I'm not gonna, actually yes I will. Just taking a little bit of this, and I'm going to put it where I have really large pores, and just kind of all over my face. So now we're moving on to foundation. So I'm using the Revlon Color Stay foundation for normal to dry skin, and I'm in the shade 150 Buff. I'm going to put 2 or 3 pumps back of my hand. Now I'm taking my makeup sponge and I'm just going to pick up some of that and dot it under the eyes, the chin, the nose, forehead, and cheeks. Blend that in and down your neck. Alright, so now I'm taking my e.l.f. small stippling brush and the rest of the foundation on the back of my hand, and I'm just going to blend this into my hairline so that it doesn't look like I have a mask on, and I will blend this out to my ears, down my chin, down my chin, my neck. I don't know what I'm saying. I'm going to add some concealer, and this is the Maybelline Age Rewind Instant Age Rewind Concealer, and I'm in the shade Fair. So now I'm applying this under the eyes and a little bit on the eyelids. Now putting some on my chin because I do have acne scarring there. So now with that same sponge, blend it all in. So before we bake, I'm taking a little bit of my Maybelline Fit Me Matte and Poreless Powder in 110 Porcelain. I'm patting this on top of my eyelid so that it doesn't crease. And a little bit of a swipe, but mostly a dab under the eyes. And then a little bit on the chin and the forehead. So then now for bake, I'm taking my e.l.f. translucent powder in Sheer. I love this powder. Into the powder. And then I bake under my eyes and on my chin. So while this is baking, we're going to move on to the eyelids for eyeshadow. Today I'm going to be using my Morphe 35O palette, and it's so beautiful. I love it so much. I'm first going to start off with this very, very light shade right here. I'm going to take this Real Techniques domed shadow brush, and I'm going to take some of this and just apply it all over the lid. For my crease, I'm just taking this flat top crease brush and this light shadow right here and blend that into my crease, tapping off the excess and blending this in here. So now going into that shade diagonally across and dipping in there, I'm going to pick up a little bit of that and make the crease a little bit darker and more noticeable. Okay, so now moving into an even darker brown, I'm going to be mixing pretty much these three right here. This one is more cool tone brown and these two are more warm. So I'm going to mix them all together and blend that into the crease. So now taking this small crease brush by e.l.f., I'm going to dip into this red color and this red color and put that in my crease. I decided to zoom you guys in, so I'm just blending this into the crease, and it's okay if it gets on the lid. Now taking my double-sided Eco Tools brush, I'm taking the blend side and I am really going in here and I'm blending everything out. Now going in with this Wet n Wild flat, somewhat brush, I'm just blending everything out even more so there's no harsh lines. Why can't I think of the name? A slanted crease brush, I guess you could say. And so I'm going to blend to go in with this brown shade at the very, very bottom. Take a little bit of that brush that we just used and kind of pack it towards the outside V of your eye, and then we're going to blend it in right here and right, and kind of put that on my brow bone to somewhat make it a matte highlight and kind of clean everything up. So we're almost done with the eyes. I just had some technical difficulties, so if the lighting or something, the angle is different, I'm sorry. This is the W7 in the Buff Lightly Toasted Natural Nudes Eye Color Palette. And I'm only going to be using one shade out of this, and it's this gold shade right here. And it is called Twister. So I'm just going to take this with my finger because the shimmery shadows work better with your fingers. I'm just going to pick up a lot of that. And I'm going to smudge this onto my entire lid, but not getting it into the crease. Now that we have that gold shimmery shadow on, I'm going to go into this LA Color Shimmering Loose Eyeshadow Pigment, the color Radiant. My cousin said that she really likes it and I should try it out. This and take the cap, and I'm going to take the same Wet n Wild flat brush from before that we used. Take a little bit of water and wet it. Wetting your shadows makes them more pigmented and shinier, so I'm going to pick up a lot and we're going to apply that in the same entire place just over the first pigment. I'm going to be using two different mascaras today. First I'm going to be using the L'Oreal Voluminous Mascara in Carbon Black. I really recommend this one. I like it a lot. And then for the second one, this is going to be just kind of clearing out all the clumps and everything and making them a little bit thicker. This is the Almay One Coat Thickening Mascara, and this one is waterproof. And I'm just going to dust this away and kind of blend it out to my face, to the rest of my face. The purpose of baking, if you don't know, is to help your makeup not crease under your eyes and to really help it stay so that it doesn't just disappear on you out of nowhere. Going back into that same Morphe palette, I'm going to take one of the light browns and then sort of a orangey color mixed with a red. So I think I'm going to do either these two colors right here or this orange and this red. I'm going to put that under my lash line. I'm going to move on to the cheeks. So I'm starting off with bronzer. I'm using my Hoola bronzer by Benefit, my Wet n Wild contour brush. I'm just going to dip in there, tap off the excess, and I'm going to bronze my face. So you want to bronze up your cheekbones, bronzing up the cheekbones lightly because I want the focus to mainly be on the eyes and then the temples and the forehead. And then a little bit that's left over on the jawline. So I'm only going to blend this out a little bit so that you can still see the line of bronzer, because once we put blush and we're blending that out, it will soften up the line of bronzer. So now for blush, I'm going to take my e.l.f. blush brush. This thing I've had forever and it is broken and I glued it back together, but it is a very good brush. So as you can tell, I really like Wet n Wild, so I'm using this Wet n Wild Color Icon blush, the shade Mellow Wine. Just tap some of that and put it on my cheeks very lightly. So now my blush is pretty much all blended out. I'm going to see if this light is good, and it's not. Maybe give it a second. No, too orange. Now that we have some color back on our face, it's time to highlight the Wet n Wild Mega Glow Illuminating Palette. And this one is in Catwalk Pink, and I'm going to dip in there. Oh my god, I love this highlight so much. I'm just highlighting, and I'm going to put a little bit on the tip of my nose, like that. If you can even see it with this horrible lighting. So now I'm going to dip my finger into this very, very light pale champagne beautiful shade and put it on my inner corner with my finger. Nope, I'm going to use a brush. So I'm just going to use this very, very small brush. I'm going to take a lot of this, tap some of it off though, and put it on my inner corners. Now that we're done with the face, we're going to move on to lips, and this is my favorite lipstick right now, and it's Kat Von D Everlasting Liquid Lipstick, and this is in the shade Lolita 2. My face with some setting spray. And that is it. And now I am done with the final look. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you have any video suggestions or anything like that, leave them down below. Or if you have any specific makeup looks that you would like me to try, you don't want to try on yourself, be sure to do that. Thank you so much for watching. Bye!